I'm Charla with Freezer Meals 101, and today we are on day one of our huge freezer meal assembly. So you can watch the video on how we did our prep to get ready for today to make today go as smoothly as possible. We're gonna do a full day today and a full day tomorrow, or full-ish, and that will give us enough meals, myself and Christy, for 3 months for both of our families. So join us as we go on this crazy adventure. Today we're actually doing meals that have 5 ingredients or less. We just thought it would be a really fun theme to show you that freezer meals don't have to be complicated to taste amazing, and of course with 5 ingredients or less, they're super fast to throw together. So join us on this crazy adventure today as we attempt to fill our freezer for the next few months. Glad to have you guys here.
Hey, good morning. It's my first meal of the day, and we're gonna start with the butter chicken, and it's super easy. The prep that was involved in this is literally chopping chicken breasts. It doesn't get any easier than that. I've put the chicken breasts in the freezer meal bags, and then it's gonna get even easier because you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take this Costco butter chicken and I'm gonna dump one in each bag. And that's it. These are gonna be done in about 30 seconds. And you're probably asking me, Christy, why would you make something that's so easy into a freezer meal? I'll tell you why. Do you know those days that you come home from work or running errands or doing stuff with the kids and you literally have, 25 minutes to make food and then you got to go on to the next thing, but you didn't really plan ahead. And so your options are hit the drive-thru or eat cereal. Well, this is now one of your options. This is what it's for. You don't have time to chop chicken. You don't have time to, stop at the store and go get your butter chicken. You can go to your cupboard or your fridge where you took it out that morning because you knew you had a busy day coming. And you can throw this in a frying pan and it will be ready in 15 minutes. It'll probably be done faster than your rice. They're going to be done, and it's going to be something different, something that you can, add some quick vegetables to. You can add, just about anything. Have some pre-cut veggies in your fridge ready to go, and bam. I'm going to take my labels. Butter chicken, thaw, reheat till bubbling. Do you know what? I made these labels a long time ago when we used to use cooked chicken. But we've changed our minds, and now we use raw chicken. So I really should change my label to say, cook until chicken is no longer pink in the middle. Serve on rice. See, it doesn't get any easier than that. Like, it really does not get any easier than that. These are going to go into the freezer. And that's 2 ingredients. That took me, 5 minutes. And that's going to get me out in a pinch here some night when we're short on time.
The next thing we're making is beef dip. Super easy again. We are just adding our beef roasts, some cloves of garlic. We used the jarred minced garlic because it's just so much easier, and we use so much garlic when we're making our freezer meals. So we actually go through a Costco-sized jar of minced garlic at least every time we do these massive 3 months at a time freezer meal sessions. So that comes in super handy. So you've got your beef roast, your minced garlic, and then dry onion soup mix. We buy ours from Bulk Barn. We get an MSG-free version, and that way we can have lots of it at a time. So 1 pack of dry onion soup mix works out to be 3 tablespoons. So we're just adding 3 tablespoons of dry onion soup mix to each, and then your 3 cups of beef broth and some pepper. And seriously, that is it. Then you've got beef dip, including the juice, all ready to go. This crock pot chicken cacciatore is great because it's got your veggies right in there. You can serve it over pasta and it makes a complete meal. In each bag, we've got 3 chicken breasts. You can do 3 to 5 depending on the size of your family, and of course depending on the size of the chicken breasts. Then we've got some zucchini, onions, Italian seasoning, and a jar of pasta sauce. That's it. Super simple, but this is all you need. And again, tastes amazing over pasta, a really easy all-in-one meal. Moving on to the easy salsa fish tacos. You're going to add about 4 fillets of fish to each bag. We used tilapia this time. Then some crushed pineapple, garlic, salt and pepper, and some salsa. And that is it. That's all you're going to need to make these yummy fish tacos. Find the link to the full recipe in the description box below. Actually, you can find the link to most of the recipes in this video in the description box, so be sure to check that out. If you are looking for other easy freezer meals and lots of hacks to how to save time, get this done, and feed your family and not spend your whole life in the kitchen, then be sure to subscribe to us here on YouTube, where we share a ton of videos like this. This next recipe is called cracked chicken. It's the first time we're making this, so I hope it lives up to its name. Sounds like it's pretty irresistible. What it's got in it is chicken, so we used chicken thighs, and then a block of cream cheese. Now, Christy went ahead and cut the cream cheese into smaller pieces just to make it easier to mix and that it will melt faster. And then it's got cheddar cheese, cooked bacon, and we cooked our bacon this time in a roasting oven. We usually do it in the oven. And we discovered actually that our special oven method is faster. So I'll stick a link to our oven method up at the top there, and you can check that out because it really does make cooking bacon a lot faster and easier. But so we've got our cooked crumbled bacon and then some dry ranch seasoning. That is it. That is it for this simple recipe. And then on the day that you serve it, you're going to put it in the crock pot, let it cook, and when you serve it, you're going to serve it on buns, kind of like pulled chicken, I guess. And you can top it with some more cheese if you want and some green onions. This 5 ingredients or less idea is working out really well because these meals are coming together fast. This might not be the last time that we try this. So this next recipe is a barbecue pulled pork. We've just put brown sugar and some pork seasoning, rub, I don't know what you call it, some kind of seasoning that's meant for pork in the bag, and then added some cider vinegar and water. And then Christy's giving that a shake so that we completely cover the pork. And then you're just going to add your favorite bottle of barbecue sauce. So if you have a particular brand or flavor you like, just go ahead and add that. Christy discovers pretty quickly that it goes faster if you get the full lid off and aren't squeezing it through the little hole in the top of the lid. So she can just take that off with the scissors. There's a little time-saving trick for you. And then it goes much faster. And that is pretty much it for the pulled pork. You're going to serve it, again, this is a crock pot meal. You just throw it in your crock pot. At the end of the day, you shred it. It shreds really easily. And then you serve it on buns. If you want to take it up a notch and really impress your family, then you can just make a simple garlic mayo. And this is something that we also make with our shredded chicken. Makes it so good. And so for your garlic mayo, you just add mayo, a little bit of salt, garlic, and some lemon juice. Whip that together, spread it on the buns before you add the pulled pork, and seriously, your family will think that you have gone to culinary school. It is it's really good. Christy taught me. Can you believe that we are able to make a full casserole meal with 5 ingredients? This is it. So we have made some egg noodles, and you can do like 1 small pack of egg noodles or half of a large pack of egg noodles. You're going to cook that up. So we did do a giant pot and cooked 2 large packs of egg noodles to make the 4 meals here. So I've drained that, cooked it. I've cooked it a tiny bit less than the package called for, just because you're going to reheat it and I don't want the noodles to get too mushy. So your cooked noodles are already in there. Everything in this meal is going to be cooked. So when you're serving it, all you need to do is reheat it. Now we're adding some cooked cube chicken. Again, we did that on our prep day, so it's already done. It's going in these meals. There you go. Next, we're adding some frozen peas. Our original recipe didn't call for the frozen peas, but we just wanted to add in 1 more vegetable, and a vegetable that our kids, for the most part, will eat. So that's why we chose the frozen peas, and we had them. So that was another bonus. Then the frozen corn, which the recipe did originally call for, and then just a can of mushroom soup. That's all that it takes to make this really simple pasta casserole. You're going to mix all that together, of course, being careful to get all the air out of the bag when you seal it. And then on the day that you serve it, all you need to do is reheat it because everything in here is cooked. So you can either reheat it in your oven or in the microwave. We are trucking along now. This is going so fast. This next meal was an invention that I made when I was making some tortellini meals. You can see that video of 3 different tortellini recipes and all the meals I made for that if you click the link above. So this one our family had on our ski trip. Everyone loved it, and I knew I had to add it into this freezer meal session so that Christy and her family could try it too. I started with some sausage meatballs, so I made that by squeezing the sausage out of the casing to make the meatballs and then baking them in the oven. So Christy's family has a mild Italian sausage, and our family has a spicy sausage because we just prefer everything spicier. Then we've got peppers, onions, tortellini, and pasta sauce. That's all. On the day that you make it, you'll put it in a skillet, add some water to help cook those tortellini up, and it's ready in like 10 minutes. So good. Top it with some Parmesan, and dinner is on the table. This ravioli bake is layered, so we had to make it in foil tins. Our preferred thing is always to use resealable freezer bags. We just find that they take up so much less space and it's just more efficient in general. So we can fit like 3 freezer meals in bags versus 1 of these foil containers. So obviously the foil containers are kind of a last resort for us. We try to find a way to fit things into the freezer bags or to adapt the recipes to change it. And we've been able to do that with most meals. But if you have something that's layered, it's tough to do. So this we're having to do in the foil container. It'll make a really easy dinner to just put it straight in the oven and keep it in the foil container. So we just did ravioli. There's a vegetable ravioli in one, and then in the other it's like a spinach and cheese ravioli. So that's why you see the 2 different colors. So we put a layer of ravioli and then a jar of pasta sauce, or a layer of pasta sauce, and then some mozza cheese, and then another layer of ravioli, some more pasta sauce, another layer of mozza cheese, and then a layer of Parmesan cheese on the top. So we're going to cover that in foil. When you bake it, you just bake it in the oven until the pasta is cooked through. So it is super easy. You can bake it from frozen, but it takes a lot less time to bake it if you thaw it first. Either way, totally works. This is an easy weekday dinner. So there you go. Since I was just talking to you about how we don't like to use the foil tins, I thought I would show you what we do when we're trying to create a recipe that is new to us, but calls for it to be in a casserole dish or a large baking dish like this. What we do is we make 4 of them, one for each of our households in the foil tin, exactly how the recipe says we should make it, and then one for each of our households in a bag, how we conceptualize that we could possibly make it. Then we make sure that it works in the bag before the next time we make freezer meals, and then we'll just make it straight into the bag. So this is a great example that I can show you. This is a new recipe called Caesar chicken. So we've got our chicken laid out in the foil trays, just like the recipe called for it. So 4 boneless, skinless chicken breasts each. And then we've gone ahead and put pepper on those. Then I've mixed together some Caesar dressing, some sour cream, and Parmesan cheese, and topped the chicken with that mixture, and then sprinkled some additional Parmesan on top of that and covered it with foil. I should mention I was able to get a great deal on that like refrigerated Caesar dressing that you find over by the salads in your grocery store. So I decided to go ahead and just use the better quality stuff. I'm hoping this makes a taste difference, but since it's the first time ever making this recipe, I don't really have anything to compare it to. Anyway, I went ahead and did that when I was creating the ones in the foil tins. And then to experiment and see if we could make this meal in our bags, which I'm totally sure this is going to work out. We've been doing this for long enough that we kind of know what works and what doesn't. And so all we did was, again, I mixed together the sour cream, Caesar dressing, and Parmesan. I mixed that together and put it over top of the chicken that was in the bags that I'd added some pepper to. Then I sealed the bags, got out the extra air, and put the extra Parmesan, the Parmesan that's supposed to go on top, in a medium-sized baggie. Then I stapled that baggie to the main bag. So when we go to bake this, we'll just dump the bag contents into a baking dish and top it with the Parmesan, just like we would have done if it was in the foil tray, but this way it'll take up so much less space in our freezers. So I'm pretty sure this recipe is going to work just as well in the bag and take up less space, but the verdict is still out. Okay, to start this next recipe, we're just adding sliced beef strips. We got them pre-sliced just to save time. And then we're adding sliced red and yellow peppers, or maybe they're orange. Those are definitely orange. Next, we're going to add some sliced onion, again, something that was done on prep day, and some garlic. All that's left is to add a bottle of teriyaki sauce into each bag. We chose the thick teriyaki sauce because we just prefer that consistency. If you want a thinner one, go ahead and use that, or you could add a little bit of water on the day you cook it, whatever floats your boat. We also could have added some ginger into these bags. Honestly, if it were not for the theme of this video being 5 ingredients or less, I totally would have added ginger, and we might just add it on the day that we serve it. So on the day that you cook this, you're just going to heat it up in a skillet. It'll cook super fast, like, I don't even know, 10 minutes or less. And you can serve it over rice or noodles. And it's a full meal because it's got your meat and your veggies in there. As you might be able to see on the video, I've got one of my daughters adding the bottles of teriyaki sauce as I add bottles. I go with the philosophy that my mom taught me, which is many hands make light work. So when the kids offer to help with the freezer meals, I jump on that and take them up on the offer every single time. Even when they were a lot younger, Christy and I knew that it might actually make us slower if we let the kids help, but we had the foresight to realize that if we let them help when they were younger, they would be more capable and still willing to help when they were older. And so it's just something where we've always allowed them to help along the way. One of her sons loves using the electric can opener, so he's always in there opening cans for us, which we so appreciate. And we just let the kids help in whatever ways they want, and it really does speed things up, especially now that they're getting older. This is the first time we're making the maple Dijon chicken. We put the chicken thighs in each bag, so we kind of have like 8 to 12 chicken thighs in each of those bags. Christy's gone ahead and taken off the gross bits, and then we're adding Dijon, rice vinegar, and maple syrup. So this is actually a 4-ingredient recipe, which is a great win, and we're excited to give it a try. Can you really ever have too many versions of tacos? Yeah, I didn't think so either. So this is another taco recipe, but each one is super unique. Both our families love tacos, so you can't go wrong here. We've got our skinless, boneless chicken breasts and half of a diced onion, and then 1 cup of salsa verde and some cumin. Super simple. When you make it, you're gonna put it in the crock pot and then you can easily shred it. Then you can serve it with your usual taco fixings on flour tortillas or hard shell taco shells, whatever you like. One thing that my family really likes to do with this particular recipe is make wraps with it. So that works really well as well, and it's great for lunches. Now we come to what is arguably my kids' favorite recipe, and I'm a little embarrassed to admit it because this is not how I raised them. I raised them to like all kinds of ethnic foods and to go out their comfort zone and try new things. But they come back to this tater tot casserole made with the ever healthy cream of mushroom soup. So, like I said, I'm a little embarrassed to admit it, but for a lot of my kids, this is their favorite meal. We never get complaints when it's tater tot casserole night. So to make this, you just mix up your cream of mushroom soup. So we've got 4 of those with evaporated milk. So 4 cans of evaporated milk. I add a little bit of paprika. I don't know that the paprika makes a difference, but it makes me feel like I'm trying to elevate this tater tot casserole, which is just processed food mush that whatever. Anyway, this is my way of feeling better, is that I add paprika to this recipe. So you're going to mix all of this together. You're going to pour it in your bags over tater tots. So each meal has 1 bag of frozen tater tots in it. And then we have pre-ground our sausage. This time we used a roasting oven to ground the sausage, or brown the ground sausage, and it worked so well. It was like revolutionary for us. So I was able to do so many packs of sausage all at once. There will be a video on that as well if you want to see how I used the roasting oven for prep and what it worked well for and what it didn't. Anyway, so you just put your ground sausage in a medium-sized bag, and then you staple that bag to your tater tot bag. On the day that you cook it, you're going to put the ground sausage down in your casserole dish and then dump the main bag contents on top of it. Bake it in the oven. One of my daughters prefers for us to bake it uncovered so that the tater tots on top get crisp. But you can do it however you like. If you prefer them to not be crisp, then just keep it covered. That is all the magic of the tater tot casserole. Recipe for this is down below too, and when you click on the recipe, you'll see that I actually have it titled Drool Worthy BBQ Shredded Chicken because it really is drool worthy, especially if you make it with the garlic mayo. And the recipe for the garlic mayo, the same one that I talked about in the BBQ Pulled Pork recipe, is in that same link. When we decided that we were doing this 5 ingredients or less theme, I knew right away that this had to be one of the recipes we include because we make it a lot anyway, and I knew off the top of my head that it didn't have very many ingredients in it, so it was perfect. It's got your boneless, skinless chicken breasts, again, like 3 to 5, depending on the size of your family and the size of the chicken breasts. Then it's got minced onion, garlic, cider vinegar, and barbecue sauce. You can use your favorite flavor or brand of barbecue sauce. This time, the brand that I really loved last summer, they stopped making it, so I haven't found another barbecue sauce that even comes close to that. So for this, I just bought what was on sale. So use whatever barbecue sauce you want, and then you're going to, again, seal it, take out the air, slap a label on it, and on the day that you cook it, you'll just throw it in the crock pot, shred it when it's done, serve it on top of buns, and again, if you want to elevate it and have your family just think you are amazing, then you want to make that garlic mayo to put on the buns before you top them with this barbecue shredded chicken. After we finished the barbecue shredded chicken, it was the last of our recipes that needed the boneless, skinless chicken breasts. So we had enough left to make 2 meals, and I turned it into just a very, very simple chicken vindaloo. All I did was cube the chicken and throw a jar of Vindaloo sauce on it. It, again, just doesn't get any easier. But this means that on a busy day, I'll have supper ready to go. It'll just cook in the skillet super, super quick because the pieces are small. We can serve it on rice, have a side vegetable, and it'll just be a really easy dinner for the family. This Alfredo Tortellini recipe is another one of those ones that was originally supposed to be in a foil container or a casserole dish, but we played around with it and made it to the point where we could easily do it in a bag. It works just as well, takes up less space. So we've been doing this recipe for a while. You just add the tortellini. It's usually we use the rainbow 3-cheese tortellini, but Costco didn't have it this time around, so we used some kind of a chicken tortellini this time. And then we do 2 jars of Alfredo, and then at that point you can mix in whatever else you want. So sometimes we do bacon, sometimes we do chicken and spinach. This time we're doing sun-dried tomatoes. We've tried lots of combinations. Mushrooms and peas work really nicely. And then you can add your shredded mozza and Parmesan to a medium-sized bag and staple that onto your main bag so that when you go to bake this in the oven, you can top it with those cheeses and you have your full pasta meal. Can you believe how quickly these are coming together? I mean, obviously we've sped up the video in the editing process, so it took many hours longer than what you're watching, but still, we've been able to accomplish so much. I'm really glad we came up with this 5 ingredients or less idea. Super fast way to get freezer meals done. So this next one is another chicken thigh recipe, lemon pepper chicken. It's a classic for us. We've been making it for years and years. Christy decided that she was going to mix everything up in a bowl first. You can do that, or you can put the ingredients into each individual bag and just squish it to combine. Either way works. So this has got your boneless, skinless chicken thighs, or you can use breasts, whatever you prefer. Lemon juice, garlic cloves, lemon pepper seasoning, Italian seasoning, and a tiny little bit of cayenne if you want. So that's really it. And then you squish that all together, combine it, and that's it. We had enough chicken left to do one more recipe, so 4 more meals. And we made chicken curry with that, which is like we've been making since I was a kid. It was my mom's recipe. And it's a very kid-friendly meal. It's got like ketchup and brown sugar and water. It's just super kid-friendly, not maybe all that healthy. But anyway, we've been making that forever. And so we did make that up in these 5 ingredient meals, but we forgot to video it, unfortunately. So I'll add the link to the recipe in the description below, but unfortunately I can't actually show it coming together. But one of these times we will definitely film that for you guys because it really is a classic. So it is the end of our day 1 of freezer meals. We did the 5 ingredient or less recipes today, and of those we did, let's just checking my notes. Of those we did 18 recipes for a total of 64 meals, and I'll just show you where we're at on that. So, yeah, we're doing pretty well. And Christy's got half in her freezer, of course. And we also did 2 other recipes that are a lot more than the 5 ingredients. But I will add those into the video for tomorrow. It would be too long of a video to do our 2 days all in one. So we'll add those onto tomorrow's video. So all told, we did 72 meals today, which we're pretty happy about. And actually, we still feel quite a lot of energy, and we are ready to go for tomorrow. Kitchen is fairly clean, and everything's put away. So we are all set. I will see you guys in the next video where we share our day 2. And those will have a little bit more variety of ingredients and a little bit more variety of cooking methods and all that kind of thing. But yeah, thanks for joining me today. Make sure that you subscribe if you're looking for freezer meal ideas or easy money-saving tips. And thanks, guys. Leave comments, questions down below if you want. Happy cooking!